Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. This is episode 7, and my name is Dalton, and joining me, as always, is my hetero life mate.
This is Ryan.
And this week, we have a hell of a little game for you guys. And I
little game.
Yeah, I say that because it came out on a PSP, but other than that, man, there's nothing little about it. It's a pretty sprawling little adventure we got here, and I keep saying little, but you know what I'm saying. So, first thoughts on Ys 7. Like, when you loaded it up, what were your first thoughts going into it, knowing what the little bit I had told you about it?
Oh, the little bit you told is started up, looked like a Final Fantasy home screen, like with the menu options and everything like that.
Yep.
Started it up, the opening cutscene, very similar to a Final Fantasy game. Like, so I was like, this is gonna play like Final Fantasy.
Nope.
Big shocker! It's not turn based.
No.
It's a good old hack and slash like Neptunia, which I'm down for. I love. And the storyline was pretty good at first.
I agree. It definitely picks up towards the end, and we want to go ahead and preface that this is going to be part 1 of a 2-parter.
Yeah, this game is a lot longer than I thought it was originally going to be. Like,
I agree.
During this playthrough, I thought I was pretty much done with it. Like, they were like, yeah, you get there and you meet up with the king of this kingdom. What is it, Altago?
Altago.
Yeah, Altago. You meet up with this king, and he's like, "Oh, go investigate this fucking shrine. Go investigate this like thing that popped out of the ground or revealed itself in the ground after an earthquake." And you go there, you fight a monster, you find the shrine, and then you get endued with like some power, and it's like cool.
Yes, the dragon gods.
It's like go find more. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be the whole game. And then come to find out, there's only like 5 of them, so I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a short game.
Nope. Welcome to Ys, sir.
Nope.
So I would like to, before we get too much further into it, I'm going to go ahead and give the regular bullshit that I copy from Wikipedia and read to you lovely people. And it is that Ys 7 is an action role-playing video game developed by Neon Falcom. Like, are you familiar with Falcom at all?
No, not at all.
No? All right. Well, we have a bunch of their games on our list, so we'll be getting to them a bunch. This installment in the Ys series was first released in Japan for the PlayStation Portable in September 2009, and later by Xseed Games in North America in August of 2010, and in Europe in November 2010, and Australia didn't get it until February 2013.
Damn Australians. They're
And then
waiting for everything.
Right? And then it was released in China on Windows in 2012 and did not get a worldwide release on Windows until August 2017. So this game's been released a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like just through all different kinds of places.
Yeah.
But Neon Falcon.
Isn't that like the story like behind a lot of the Japanese games? Like they get released on different platforms.
It is very rare.
Like
it is very rare that a Japanese game gets a worldwide release right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final
Very
Fantasy and Pokemon have to be like
that's
main
probably
ones.
about it. Yeah, I think there's maybe a few others, but that's maybe the only ones that I truly know of.
Yeah.
I think maybe like Mega Man, but then again, I don't know. I've never really looked into. I just know about them when they come over here, and then I read it. There's games out like Ys 9, for example, is already out in Japan.
Yeah.
But we're waiting till 2021 till it comes out over here. But it should be good. It looks pretty good to me, at least. I know some people are hating on it, but whatever. So to inform you a little bit on Falcom, Neon Falcom was founded by Masayuki Kato in 1981 and quickly became the most prominent and influential Japanese role-playing game developer, alongside Enix and Square. So, like, those three were the ones that stuck out back in the day. There was Enix, Square, and Falcom. Of course, now you know that Square Enix, they merged.
Yeah, they merged.
And became one company. But those three are credited with laying the foundations for Japanese role-playing game industry as a whole. And Falcom eventually went on to create their flagship franchises, including Dragon Slayer, Ys, and The Legend of Heroes. So, in our list, we have Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky 1 through 3, and we have Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 through 3. And I want to go ahead and put out now, just to float an idea to you, that if we get one of these games that is a series, do you want to, like, say we get Trails in the Sky the third or whatever? Do you want to, if we have the ability to play the games that came beforehand, play one of those first? Or
if we get kind of like how we talked about doing like the collections, like the old console collections that we have on the library, let's do the same for something like that.
That's what I was thinking. Like, if the third one comes up, be like, okay, let's play the first one, but we'll leave the third one in there because I don't want to have another corpse party situation.
Do those games go like? I think I was reading about the Ys series and that the games aren't necessarily like, in order.
Oh yeah,
like,
yes. The release order is not technically the canonical order of the stories.
Okay. So like playing E7 isn't going. I'm not going to miss like much storyline from any of the older games or anything like that. Okay, cool.
No,
but the other games, are they like that too, or are they released chronologically?
No, they are chronological.
Okay.
The Legend of Heroes series, like if you play, like for instance, the second chapter of Trails in the Sky, you're going to be missing a lot because you haven't played the first chapter.
So yeah, if one of those comes up on the generator, let's just start with part 1. And then
okay, cool.
Every
That's
time
what I was
it
thinking
pops
too.
up, we'll pick the next part. So
cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I'm glad we agree on that because I think that would be the easiest way and the best way for us to cover those games, so we don't have another. We're coming in on the third game and don't know what the fuck is going on. like Corpse Party.
Yeah, I mean, like Corpse Party was so bad, but. I mean, our whole system is supposed to be a random generated thing. If we ended up with like part 3, we could play through it. I may not understand any bit of it, but once we get to like game 1 or game 2, I can be like, oh, that's what that is. Like
that is another good point.
Yeah,
that's another good point. So you know what? Let's just fuck it. We'll just deal with it when it comes up.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
We'll do that then.
Little peek behind the curtain for all you people with the fucking conversations that we randomly have before we start.
Yeah.
So basically, starting here, like you had mentioned earlier, Adol and Doji. I call him Doji.
I call him Doggy.
Doggy. Okay, so whatever. It's gonna be like a GIF thing, but
he's like my pet dog. He just follows me around everywhere. I don't think I ever switch to him unless I absolutely have to. Like
he's like your big muscle man. He's just
yeah.
He's a good dude though. He's a good dude. We know what was cool to me, just real quick, is that in Ys 8 he's not a playable character, at least as far as I've gotten in Ys 8. Like, he is just somebody at the camp who's, like, helping keep the camp going while you're off exploring this giant-ass island. So it's pretty cool. But, so you guys land in the kingdom of Altego and attempt to find more adventurers, because that's what you guys do. You're adventurers.
Yeah. It's
and
not
while
a real profession.
Says who? Says those goddamn Dragon Knights! So, while you're exploring in the town, you guys end up getting into some trouble saving these two sisters who are being harassed by Dragon Knights.
Yeah.
The girl is like, no, I don't want to go on a date with you. And the dude's like, what do you mean you don't want to go on a date with me? I'm the most handsome Dragon Knight and the most powerful person, yada, yada, yada. He's trying to play that douchebag card. And the chick's not having any of it, which good for her. You know what I'm saying? And his two buddies are egging in. And then, of course, Doji's like, yeah, I've had about enough of this. And he comes walking in there. Just basically tells those guys to fuck off. So they arrest you guys.
Yeah.
For nothing. They said, oh, you might be spies.
Pretty much. Like, we don't know you. To the cages with you.
Yeah, basically. You end up getting let go, I think, and talking to the... Is that when you talk to the king?
Yes. What's his name? Sias, I think? Comes down. Commander Sias comes down and is like, the king has requested an audience with these two. And Homeboy's like, what the fuck? No way. Like, fine, just... and storms
That's
off.
right. That's right, because the old pirate, the king knows the old pirate that brought you guys there.
Yeah, that we sailed in with.
No, what was his name? Ludok? Ludok?
I have no idea.
I think it was Ludok.
Me and dialogue, like...
Yeah, I know.
I just button mash. I skim over the dialogue. I got most of the story, but I don't read every sentence of dialogue. Like...
Well, so you go to the king, and he's like, hey, you guys' reputation as adventurers precedes you.
Yeah.
So I need you guys to help me investigate these strange earthquakes that are going on and figure out why the fuck they're still happening. Yeah. And then, like you said earlier, there's this new place that has just kind of came to be because of these earthquakes. He's like, well, I think like it unearthed.
Yeah, a hole opened up in a cave, and there's like, oh, look at this. It's a shrine to something. Let's investigate this.
So you guys head down there, and I believe that's where you face your first Titanus, right?
Yeah, the first Titano. Yeah. Titano, yeah. And, God, that first one was a bitch. Like...
They're all pretty hard in their own way.
I didn't really grind it out at first. I just zipped right there. Killed every monster on my way there. No big deal. I didn't really level up a whole lot. I didn't grind up a lot. So that first Titano killed me probably about 6 times before I figured out that you gotta fucking bob and weave. You gotta fucking jump in for some hits and then jump out really fucking quick. Like,
oh yeah, dude. That was what I had failed to mention to you, is that you should probably worry about grinding up a little bit in each area. Yeah. Because I went ahead and got to level 5 and gathered up some money and went and bought some new weapon upgrades and then went and fought the Titano. Yeah. And I think the Titano was hitting me for 4 damage.
Oh. Yeah,
so it made my life a lot easier.
I went at that bitch probably a level 2, level 3. Like, and I took the fucker down. Like, took me a bit, but bitch went down. Like,
well, I am impressed. Colorly impressed.
No.
So you leave there, and you find the altar, and this voice speaks to you. Yeah. And it tells you that it is the... Oh, was it the blue dragon?
I think it's like the earth dragon.
Right, earth dragon.
No, the earth dragon is the second one. It's one of the dragons. I forget which one it is at first, but...
Yeah, I don't quite remember. I feel like that was hours and hours ago in the game.
They're all part of like the natural elements though, like earth, wind, water, fire. Whatever that fifth one is.
So from there, I'm trying to think about where I did, because I did a lot of grinding, so my head is kind of misty in the beginning areas of this game. And he sends you to the king sends you to the Tangled Woods of Shanoa. That's where you gotta go next.
Shanoa, whatever.
Shanoa.
Yeah.
Potato.
That's where you meet the Earth Dragon in the ancient
Yes.
tree.
But on the way is also where you meet Elk.
Yeah.
Because that little fucker, you don't know him at the time, but he runs up and steals your shit and hauls ass.
Yeah, he steals the king's note.
Yeah, the letter to the Eldris of Shenoa.
Yep.
And so you have to run after him. So, of course, you're killing monsters and gathering chests and things as you go.
Yeah. And,
of course, when you find him, he has stumbled upon a Titano.
Yeah.
That he needs help killing.
Oh, he says he doesn't need help. The dude just rushes in Leroy Jenkins style. Like,
yes, he
does.
Like,
this Titano killed my parents. Prepare to die. Rah!
I think he's also about 15. If not younger than that.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Maybe 12.
I'm assuming all of the characters, except for like the Dragon Knights and us, are like pretty much all children. Like,
I don't think Tia is a kid, but I know Maya is for sure.
Yeah, Maya is definitely a little kid, but.
Mm-hmm. But Elk, I don't know, maybe
like most anime things, I'm gonna put Tia probably around 16 years old.
Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know where in the chronological timeline this game falls. I should look that up real quick. I do know that Adol is probably in his 20s.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Watch, he turns out to be like 13.
Ys 7 takes place about 6 months after Ys 6. As Gaius mentioned, it's been about half a year since he last saw Adol. Aha, okay. So this game takes place after Ys 6.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean anything. Just because of the way some of these things are laid out.
Did you notice how this game is like fictional whitewashed almost? Altago takes place on Afroka. It's Africa, but spelled with an O instead of an I. And
no, I did not notice
our
that.
Characters, Adol and Doji, are from Europe. It's Europe without that last E.
Oh yeah, and the Roman Empire.
Yeah, the Rome, like ROMN, and then Romans ROMUN.
Yeah.
And like, even though Altago is taking place in Africa, nobody's black, nobody's brown, nobody's tan. Like, everybody's white.
It's like anime. Everybody's just like American dudes.
That's old anime. That's old anime. Some of the new anime is pretty good at being diverse.
Okay, so what I've found is that the way the chronological order of this series goes is Origin is first, and then after that is books 1 and 2. After that is Celceta, which I think is Memories of Celceta, then Oath and Felghana, and then Ys 5. Then Ark of Nephishtim, then 8, then 7. So 7 is technically the most current Adol.
Okay. So it's the oldest.
Yeah. So he is the oldest that he's been in Ys 7. That's cool.
Gotcha.
I didn't realize that. So then that leaves us. We were in Shinoa. Oh, so she sends you to the Earth Shrine, and I had a little bit of trouble in here getting turned around a bunch until I found the diamond boots. And when I found those diamond boots and could run through the spikes and everything, life was so much easier.
I pretty much found everything in there. There was one chest that I could not figure out how to get to, and it really pissed me off. Like, because it was probably a really good item.
I bet I know which one it
chest.
is.
Like,
okay, so you get the tree sap, and you drop the tree sap on the spots that grows it for you to walk across.
Yep. I bet figured that out.
Was it the one that was across the gap, but you couldn't drop the sap on the thing because it was on the other side, but there's a chest sitting over there?
Yeah, there was like a little island that I think you had to get to by dropping down on it from somewhere up above, but I couldn't find that. Like,
Same here. I missed that chest as well. No idea what's in it.
Yep, no idea what's in it.
Could be the best damn item in the game. I'll never know.
So, Google says Adol in Ys 7 is 23 years old.
23? Wow.
Yep. In Ys 1, he is only 16.
Wow. I didn't realize that he was that young in the first game. Oh, well, that's cool. That's one thing I like about Ys is they've stuck with the same main character, but it's like different tales about him.
Yeah.
as like it goes on. So it's like you kind of get to see him mature in age as the series progresses.
Yeah.
I always like that, and my RPGs, a little bit of character progression goes a long way for me. So the Titano in this Earth Shrine was not that hard, I have to admit, and I might have just been because of all the leveling that I did.
Which one was that one again?
I believe it was like
it the spider?
Yes, I think. God
yes,
damn,
it was the big spider. It was the big spider.
I think it's the one you had to attack his legs. He was
annoying until I figured out you had to hit the legs to get him down, and then you had to strike him. Once I figured it out, it was an easy takedown. But I don't think I went down. No KOs on that one. I think the only Titano to KO me in an outright Titano fight, according to storyline, was that first one. I did run into some higher level Titanos on the way through.
Yeah, me too.
Fucked my world up. Like,
it's got a haul ass past them.
Yeah,
as quick as you can.
It's like, I hope I saved before I went into this. Like,
so once you defeat that Titano and you're leaving the Earth Shrine, on your way back, you end up seeing Tia, who is out gathering herbs and stuff, and she is being surrounded by monsters. So, of course, you guys jump in, save the day, slaughter the monsters. And then you're given the option to escort her back to town or send her on her way. So, of course, I chose to escort her back to town. I'm like, let's go. I don't want you to die.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
You take her back, and once you get into town, that's when I believe you're told to go speak to the king. But you go in there, and he's busy talking to, I think, Master Orberus. I believe is his name.
The Prime Minister.
Yes, Prime Minister Orberus. And they're talking politics and stuff. So you leave and you go talk to the general of the Dragon Knights.
Yeah.
And he used to be the elder of Seagram Desert. And he writes you a letter of recommendation basically to give to the other elder that is now taking over for the desert and sends you off on your merry way and basically gives you a thing that the guards will let you through because they're not supposed to let anybody through.
Yeah, that was a long trek from Altago to Seagram.
Yeah.
That I did quite a bit of leveling up on that run. Same
here.
I got turned around quite a few times. That's where I ran into the level 18 Titano that one-shotted me.
That thing would wreck your world,
quick. Yeah.
Destroy you.
I think I hit 2 high-level Titanos on the way there because you run into one just before you enter Seagram. Like the Sand Eater is what they call it. And then on my way there, I went the wrong direction. And instead of going the proper way, which I think was east on the map, I went west.
I did the same thing.
This cave and ran into another giant Titano in that cave. And I was just like, nope. Like, turned around and ran out as soon as I could.
Dude, those higher level ones do not fuck around at all. When you go running up in there, if you're not prepared, they are going to wreck your shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There are a couple enemies in this game that if you're not prepared will wreck your shit. Those wolves, I think I ran into them around this time when I was running around. The wolves that like dive at you and they stun you and they hit you. So it's like if you don't dodge out of the way and there's like 2 or 3 of them, they could just stun lock you until you're dead.
See, I don't really have I never really had a problem with those because I was just using that dive button everywhere because it's so much faster than walking. Like,
for real.
I was always mashing that button. Every time there was an enemy, I was already rolling out of the way. Like, as soon as it turned and recognized me, I was already behind it. Like,
I have probably shaved like an hour off of my playtime by just diving everywhere.
For sure.
It reminds me of the
speed travel, just somersaults everywhere.
The old Baldur's Gate games. It used to be if you jumped, you could hop and you would go faster the more you hopped around.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same thing except just with dodging, which is cool. Which is cool with me. So you take this letter of recommendation and you go and you're fighting your way to, and you eventually, like us, you might get lost, but you eventually find your way to Seagram.
Yeah.
And that's where you meet Krushi, and she's the elder's little sister, and she's like, "Oh, he'll be home soon. Just hang out." And then she fucking faints.
Yeah.
And like starts coughing, and she's real sick. and she tells you that she has some medicine up on the counter. So Doji's all like, "Oh fuck!" and goes running over there and grabs it, and you guys end up getting her in bed and calm down and everything. So her brother comes home to see 3 strangers in his sister's bedroom while she's in the bed. And he's just like draws his massive hammer and is like,
yeah,
what
he pulls
the
out
fuck?
a fucking Roger Rabbit mallet. Like, this hammer is bigger than the house. Like,
And he's gonna fuck your world up. And it's all a misunderstanding. You guys end up talking, but he does not trust you one bit.
No.
But Cruci tells him that you guys are fine.
Yeah.
You know, you guys seem like good people. That you had this letter, and you find out that that's his father. That is the general for the Dragon Knights. Which I was like, oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. So...
There's some clear family issues there. Like,
oh, yeah, he does not seem to like his father one bit.
no.
His name is Mustafa?
Yeah, Mustafa.
Yeah, Mustafa. Man, so he's like, well, I'm going to check on the shrine. If you guys need to go there, you can come with me, but one wrong move and I'm going to crush your skulls.
Yeah.
And you're like,
He's like, I want to hear these dragon voices, and I have to make sure that the altar is still intact. If you want to come with me, you can, but I'm not letting you go by yourself. Like,
it's like, well, let's go. You can just stay out of my party. Oh, speaking of, before you leave to go to the Sand City, Seagram. I don't know why I can't think of that. Seagram's like ginger ale. Like I drink that all the time. Anyways, this girl approaches you guys as you're leaving Altego, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going with you, and you can't say no. All right, thanks." And then all of a sudden, you have a new party member, and her name is Aisha, or Aisha, whatever. And so she joins up, and she's actually pretty good. She's got a bow, so she does piercing damage.
She's ranged attack.
And one thing we haven't touched on
awesome.
is certain enemies require you to switch between characters. So soft enemies, Adol's really good against because he uses slashing damage.
Slashing.
But for
slashing,
rocks,
bludgeoning, and piercing, I think are the 3 damage types.
Yeah. Which changes from older Ys games. Instead of switching between characters, you would switch between weapons, which had different elemental things on them. But she joins your party. She's pretty much a little badass, but she's hella annoying at first.
Yeah.
Or at least to me. She got on my nerves at first.
I use her a lot.
Oh, she's hella good in battle.
Yeah,
I just meant her attitude.
Oh.
She was like, "I'm coming. You can't tell me no."
She's a princess. Like, what do you expect?
You find that out later.
No.
I mean, well, you the player know pretty much immediately that this is the princess sneaking away.
Yeah.
But Adol and Doji did not find that out until later that she is the princess. So they just think she's some random chick.
Yeah.
So on your way, you get to Seagram. Mustafa joins your party. You guys head off to the Fire Shrine. Shrine of the Red Dragon, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire Dragon.
And
Red
man,
Dragon,
I got pretty turned around in this place too.
I figured this place out pretty quick.
Yeah, I got lost in here a good bit.
There was a couple times that I tried to dodge really quick across the lava to get to some places, and it worked for the most part. Loved it when I found the ice crystal, though, so where you could just run right across the lava.
Yeah, that made my life a lot easier.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm pretty sure I hit every chest in that shrine, in that temple. They had some cool gear in there. Nothing too spectacular though. Like,
no, nothing like you find at the final shrine. But I will say that this game did really good at having a shrine that presents a challenge to you, and if you can overcome that, it will then give you an item to help you with getting through the rest of the whole place a lot easier.
Yeah,
it's rewarding to do some dungeon crawling and diving into corners.
Most of them were set up that you couldn't proceed through the temple without finding that item. Yeah, and I think the Seagram temple was the first one.
Yes,
Shinoa with the diamond boots was the first one to really do that because of the thorns. But that lava killed you really quick. It's like running over the thorns did a little bit of damage. You could run through it and survive. But that lava hit you for like 50, 60 something damage every second. Like,
yeah, it was brutal. It's cooking you alive.
That killed you really quick. That Fire Titano, which one was that one? That one was... God, I can't remember what these monsters look like, what the bosses look like.
Me neither, because there were so many of them. But I'm gonna. Yeah. I don't remember. See, honestly, like the Titanos are like, I know they're a big part of the game, but they don't really stick out to me because I don't consider them to be really cool bosses or anything. They're kind of just these big enemies that are in the way. So I haven't really taken note of a lot of them. I remember. I know
they all have names too, and I'm just like, oh, cool, big fucker. I gotta fight you. Cool. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know it wasn't difficult for me. I thought that one was the easiest Titano that I had come across at that point in the game.
Oh, yes, absolutely. He did not give me much trouble at all. But I will say that dungeon was the first time, like I was saying, that like I spent probably a good hour in there just roaming around killing stuff, but also kind of was lost until I found the ice shield thing.
Yeah.
But fucking A, man. Like, okay, so did you use any of the companions at all besides your normal party?
Like,
did you use Elk or Mustafa?
No.
I didn't really either. Up until...
I mean, I had no choice but to use Elk because he was the third member of your party, and your party holds 3 members. Like, when you run into Elk, it was only Adol and
that's right,
Doji.
that's right.
So Elk was...
That's right.
Automatically added to your party. You couldn't kick him out. He was part of the party.
That's right,
I never switched to him though. Because with the upgrades that I had bought myself in Altago before heading out,
my guys were
already pretty beefy. Like,
yeah, I liked the look of his weapons.
I never buy the upgraded weapons for the temporary party members. Because they're only temporary. It's a waste of gold. Like,
well, normally the weapons that are available for the temporary party members that you can buy are the same weapons they have equipped, which I think is very strange.
It is strange. It is strange.
So basically,
but yeah, I didn't use Mustafa, and I didn't use.
There was the blind girl that was the eldress of the next place that you go after. Well, we'll get there. So. You leave Seagram Desert after proving to Mustafa that the dragons are talking to you. You gain his trust after defeating the Titano with him, and he hears the dragon's voice for himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry I was a dick, but I just had to see it for myself, yada, yada, yada. So you head back to Altago again, because that's basically where you go after everything, is you go back to Altago to go check in with the king. And this is where you find that shit's locked down because there had been an intruder.
No, like this one, after Seagro, Mustafa's like, go talk to the Eldris at Kylos. And on your way to Kylos,
right,
the road's blocked off. And then you're like, well, fuck, what do we do? Well, let's go back to Altago and see what's going on. So you end up back there, and you find out some dude's broken into the fucking palace and some shit.
Yeah, basically somebody broke in to try to get to the king, and security caught him before. I think it was Sias that saw him.
Yeah, Sias.
So he bolted, and they're trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
So you head back to Altago, and once you're in there, you can't go talk to the king. They're not letting anybody in there. Nope. Yeah. So I ran around town for like 15 minutes, like, what the fuck do I do? And then finally I saw Tia and Maya standing there selling flowers. So I was like, oh, I'll go talk to them. So you run up and you talk to Tia, and Maya starts kind of just... Maya's a mute girl, so she doesn't speak. She just kind of... I mean, she vocalizes, but she doesn't really speak.
I don't think she's mute. I think she just refuses to talk. Like...
Yeah, I don't know. I think they specified that she was a mute girl.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that in the dialogue that I read that you probably just fished through.
I did catch a point of dialogue that said maybe she went through like something traumatic, and that's why she chooses not to talk.
It's a possibility.
We'll probably find out towards the end of the game. Who knows? But yeah, she just fucking face plants it, eats the ground right then and there.
And it turns out that she has the Iskin fever.
Yeah, she's got the same thing that the chick in Seagram is infected with. Yeah, Crushi. Same thing that she's infected with.
And the king.
Iskin fever. Yep.
And the king has it as well. So
And so you're talking, she's sick. What do we do? Then the priest or whatever walks in. He's like, cool, we can make some medicine. Go talk to this guy. Go talk to Zanzibar.
Oh, and, that fucking Zanzibar.
Yeah, get these scarlet crystals, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, so...
And
go ahead.
He's a douchebag, Zanzibar. Like, big money merchant. Like, sells shit out of his store for super expensive. Also, they're all rare items.
To the point of douchebaggery that when he finds out that you want to buy these crystals to help save a sick girl in Old Town where all the poor people live, he outright refuses to sell it to you. And Doji, I thought Doji was going to go back to jail for murder.
I was hoping that I would be able to hit him. I was hoping that we would, like,
initiate battle.
Yeah. Roll for initiative. Like,
like, what a bastard thing to say.
Yeah, for sure.
So
but
you guys,
we find out that those crystals are native to the city of Altago. Cool. Let's go find these.
So you end up having to make your way into the old waterway.
Yeah, under the underground waterway system. And that was super simple. That was shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was going to be kind of like a long and winding series of sewers, but it really wasn't. It was kind of just like a couple rooms.
Yeah.
Flip a couple switches.
That was about it. There was one chest down there that had something really cool in there. I forget what it was, but it was a really nifty accessory that came in handy at first.
There was a few of those, man. Was that the oh man, what was the name of it? The one that says that it gathers enemy souls and gets stronger as you wear it. It's like the Genshi something.
I think so. I think that was what it was.
I have not seen that thing do anything other than just raise my stats all by 4.
Yeah, that's all it does. Every time you kill a monster, every time you get the killing blow on a monster, your stats go up. That's all it does. It gets stronger every monster you kill. So
I have
put it on the party member you use the most, and just hope that your other party members aren't up there landing blows on it with you. Like, when I run into an encounter that has multiple monsters, I run at one and get the other 2 on it, and then I dive across the map at another one and just lay into that one. Like, I try to get as many solo kills as possible. And I think when I ended where I did, I think my stats with Adol, my strength, is well up over 300 by now because of that accessory.
Damn.
Yeah.
My guys
are pretty beefy. I think I'm sitting at like level 36, level 37.
Oh no, I'm at level 33, I think. But I think I've got like the Power Wrist 2 on Adol at the moment.
Yeah, no, the characters get pretty beefy on their own with each level up, that I don't see the point of adding the accessories that increase your stats. I have the bandit gloves, which increase the amount of money given to you by each monster you kill. And then I forget the name of it, but it's an accessory that if somebody in your party is wearing it, it enables you to find rare items easier.
I have that on Aisha.
Yep. I have that. I have that on Aisha too. So and I think the other one I have, allows you to regen your special power faster as well.
Oh, the extra gauge thing?
Yeah.
Those come in handy too. The extra gauge, you can dish out a couple thousand if you're, well, I can now, but in the beginning of the game, even that extra couple hundred that it would do, very helpful against some of the beginning fights and monsters. Yeah. So once you're in the old waterway, you find your way down, you find a clump of the scarlet crystals, and as you approach it, a giant crab comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, super easy fight.
Yeah, you got to fuck up the giant crab, and you get the crystals, and you're able to get the medicine back to Maya in time for her to take it, and it subside the symptoms of Iskin fever, but it is not curable as far as you know yet.
Yeah, it just like halts it. Like, it's like a temporary fix. One thing that I laughed at this game is, like, of at least 2 other characters that are sick, but you only find enough crystal for the little girl.
the fucking mound of it that you get the little bit from looks like it has a ton on there.
You can't go and farm it anymore. Like,
Yeah, but it's
like
sitting
all
there.
the other all the other resource spots you come across on the map. You can come back and farm them and just load up on resources. Like it regens after like a minute or two after you hit it, so you could just load up on resources. Not that fucking crystal. Like
Nope.
It's like you get one. Fuck you. One.
There's big jagged pieces of scarlet sticking out of it. Nope. You can't take those. Leave those there.
Yeah.
That'd probably be enough to cure the whole village, but no, that's fine.
Yeah.
After that, you just head to Kylos Village, which is the Wind Village. And this was getting to the point that I believe this was the dungeon area that both me and you got stuck in for a long time.
I got stuck in this one for a long fucking time. Probably well over an hour. Probably almost 2 hours. But
Yeah, I would say probably about the same for me, man. Like
I
God.
leveled up so much in this shrine because I got lost. I didn't get lost. I knew my way around the whole temple. I just didn't know what to fucking do. You get a piece out of one of the chests, the windpipe, I think it was. It's like a flute or something.
Yep, this piece of a windpipe, and you get the
I
wind
didn't-
cape as well.
Yeah, the wind cape was cool. The windpipe, I didn't realize you had to stick into one of the organ horns or whatever. Didn't know that. I had to look up a guide, actually, after spending like 2 hours in there. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
And see, I figured it out in like just a sheer moment of brilliance that I can't explain, because I was standing there and I'm looking at that organ thing and the two fans, and I'm like, I bet I can move those goddamn fans. And I walked over to it, and the little exclamation point popped up, and I went, son of a bitch, I can. So I clicked both of them, pointed them where they needed to go, and then I'm like, well, what now? And I go running past the little organ, and then another little exclamation popped up, and I went, oh, wait. Oh, didn't they give me a windpipe? Yeah, and I clicked it, boom, worked. I was like, yes.
See, I knew about the fans early on. When I first encountered them, I knew you could move them. That windpipe, though, I can't believe I had to fucking look that up.
It happens to the best of us, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you get that windpipe in there, and the fans blow through the organ pipes, and it does its thing, opens up another like wind vent, air vent that you ride up with the cape. Here is the boss battle on this
giant
shrine.
bird.
Fuck this one. Like, it didn't kill me. Like, I only needed the one fight. But, God, this fight fucking sucked. This fight was hard.
Yes, it was. There was a lot of dodging. And
A lot of dodging and a lot of waiting, because you couldn't hit it if it went airborne. And it went airborne a lot. Like,
yeah. Well, the only way you could hit it if it was airborne was with Aisha, and one of her skill moves, I think, shoots up. But other than that was it. And that was hard. That was hard to... It wasn't even worth wasting the skill, because you're probably going to miss.
Yeah. That was easily the hardest. Other than the very first Titanite you come across very early in the game, this one was probably the hardest one at this point.
And after you slaughter it, it's the Eldris of the Wind City, Kylos.
Yeah, Kylos.
Basically tells you that this bird's been around forever, but it must have been overtaken by some sort of evil energy or something. And she does some sort of little prayer with her staff, and the animal dissipates away. And that only leaves one shrine. Mm-hmm. And then again, of course, you have to return back to Altago to talk to the king. Now, here's where things started to get interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I know Ryan told me this too. Up to this point, I was getting pretty bored, and I was pretty disappointed with this as an overall East game.
Yeah, I was really bored. Like, I was like, is this really all we have to do is just go from one temple to the next temple to the next temple?
But in the back of my head, I tried to keep that. I remember when I played Ys 8 that I played it for a bit and then put it down because I got a little bored with it. But when I picked it back up and dove really into the story and things started to pick up in Ys 8, it really picked up a lot. So I'm like, okay, so maybe this game's going to go the same way. Yeah. And we were right. Or I say we, I was right, the royal we. But so what I was pleasantly surprised, as I hope you were as well, when you head to talk to the king. Apparently everyone knows that the fucking princess is with you except the princess. Everyone's like, she thinks she's in disguise and all that, and everybody knew.
Yeah.
Like even the king's like,
except for us. Like,
oh, you were out meandering. Did it happen to
Yeah.
be with a redheaded adventurer and his big strong fellow with him?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? Oh. So she asks permission to go with you guys to the final shrine, which is on this secluded island off the coast of Altego City.
Yeah, Ruins Island. And I was like, when this part got revealed to us, I was like, cool, another altar, blah, blah, blah. Getting bored with this story.
Yeah.
You find out that the city of Altago is founded and set up originally by the tribe that inhabited Ruins Island. Like, they abandoned it for Altago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like, while it's like starting anew.
Yeah, it was a pleasant little twist in the story. Still was a little, like, disappointed that, like, yeah, this game, cool. Just have to go to a different shrine, beat another boss. It's going to be it. So
once you guys are in that room and you have this discussion, you need to go there. Aisha grabs Doji and drags him out of the room and leaves you and the king in there. And this is a pivotal point to notice that it's just you and the king inside this room. And you guys are talking, and the king says, there's probably going to be something at this altar that you are going to need this signet. And he gives you his ring, which is the signet of Altego.
Yeah.
It says, use this if you need to. There will probably be places on that island that won't open up to you unless you have this, basically. So you say, okay, and he wishes you farewell, and you leave. And you join up with with Doji and Aisha.
Yeah.
And you head to the docks.
Yeah.
Once you get down to the docks, you find I went up to the big ship.
I went up to the big ship too, and the guy's like, "Oh, you can't leave until we inspect your boat." And I was like, "Well, this is the wrong fucking ship."
Yeah.
I ran down to the dock that was empty at the beginning of the game, and I'm expecting this like nice big ship. No, they give us a little fucking skiff. They're like, "Hope you can survive. Hell, have fun." Like,
yeah. And Doji's like, they're like, well, first of all, you need to find a captain. And Doji's like, I've captained thousands of ships. I got this.
I know.
Like,
how to
seriously,
sail a boat.
I can drive this damn boat, like this fucking thing. So you guys hop on, and then here comes Aisha's caretaker, I guess you would call her.
Yeah, her
And
her caretaker, whatever you want to call her.
Her name was like Sibroon or something like that, and she was just hauling ass. And Aisha's like, "We got to go now." So you guys all hop in the boat and take off. So the chick's like, "Wait, at least take me with you," but you leave her behind. So you make your way over to the Ruins Island. When you get there, there's Geis, which we failed to mention. You run into Geis earlier in the game, and he wants to fight Adol just to kind of test him.
You run into Geis at all, and then you run into him again on the way to Kylos, where he tests your
fighting
abilities. Yeah, you gotta fight him.
And he wasn't really that hard, but he was quick.
No, he wasn't even quick. I mean, I mashed that dodge button so many times that that dude was slow compared to me. Was slow.
True enough. Well, when you get to the Ruins Island, there he is sitting there waiting for you, and he apparently is under the command of someone else who he does not like. He is very clear that whoever he's taking orders from, he does not like as a person.
He's probably a true mercenary. He's like, whoever's going to pay me the bigger bucks is who's going to get my skills. So
he reluctantly agrees to help you guys on this island.
Yeah.
So you're wandering around, and you finally make your way into the shrine. And this was one of the more interesting Titanos fights, was the giant squid thing that comes up at the end. Well, first and foremost, you use the signet to get into this one special room in the ruins. And once you're in that room, you gain this ability. I don't even remember what item. It was some sort of totem item thing that lets you breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of this temple is underwater.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought so too.
The one thing I liked about this shrine the most is how gracious they were giving you chests and stuff to unlock, because God, I must have upgraded all of my equipment at least by 2 levels just alone in this shrine.
Oh yeah, there was
like I'd find one set of armor,
everybody.
And then I'd find another set of armor that was better than the set of armor I just found. And same with the weapons. Yeah,
it was nice being able to get new weapon upgrades for everybody in this one spot.
Yeah.
But you get down. Oh, go ahead.
It was literally everyone in the party too, including Geist. Like all 4 people in your party received upgrades of armor, weapons, accessories. It was awesome. It was good. Which
really lended a hand to the Titanos fight at the bottom of it when you eventually make your way there.
I thought because of all the weapon upgrades and all the chests with all the healing potes and everything like that, I thought this boss fight was going to be hard. No, this was a pretty simple fight. Once I figured out you had to hit the one spot where the little floaty jellyfish went, it was over. It was done.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was hard. I just thought it was kind of interesting that you had to basically just kind of, with all the shit it was shooting at you, you had to still keep an eye on it when that little thing came out and went to another spot.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, playing it on PC, like, it wasn't that big a deal. I imagine playing this on a PSP, on that little screen, trying to keep track of all that might have been a bit of a pain in the ass.
Maybe. It's amazing how merciful little screens like that are, like the Game Boy or the PSP, or even like mobile games now. I mean, fuck. When I was on my paranormal investigation this past weekend, I was watching Netflix on my phone as I'm sleeping in this haunted house, trying to get to sleep, and the little screen on my phone sucks you in. It's not a big deal. Like,
oh man, I mean, on the flight home from coming home to visit you, I mean, I sat there, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Just on the plane, tucked up, and yeah, it just sucked you in. But I mean, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you defeat this Titanos and get the final dragon's power.
Yep.
At least I think it's the final dragon power. As far as we've got, like we said, this is part 1. But so
do you remember what powers you specifically gained from each dragon? Because I think after you defeated the, once you activated the altar at Seagram, you gained the ability to teleport, which is essentially fast travel.
Yeah. The red seal gives you fast travel. The seal before that unlocked your special skills. So Doji's I think was like 1.3 critical chance to the party.
Yeah.
And then I believe this last seal enhances that, but I don't quite remember what the other ones gave. No.
I was gonna say I did notice that I was critting a lot more after that.
Yeah, it does raise it a good bit.
Yeah.
So you make your way back up to the top.
Yeah.
And as you're up there, a giant Titano-sized like gator guard thingy comes at you with a giant flail, and it's just like you have to fight him. It wasn't hard, but it was just kind of random. And then after you beat him, 2 more come running up. 2
more fuckers run up on you, and I'm like, well, damn, let's do this shit. I could take down 2. That first one was easy.
It's the same thought I had, but then all of a sudden you hear boom, boom.
Yeah, kaboom, boom. Cannonball comes in, takes 1 out. Cannonball comes in, takes out number 2. And I'm like, sweet, the fucking Navy's here to fucking escort us back. Like, they knew we were here. They knew what we were going to do. Now they're going to pick us up for a quick ride home.
Yeah, they came to get the princess and make sure she was all right. So I assumed it was...
Yeah, her caretaker was the first one to... Yeah, the crazy caretaker was the first one to run off the ship.
Yep. As soon as I saw her, I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew it was her.
Yeah.
So here she comes running, and she grabs the princess, and she's like, Princess, you need to get away from these men. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then here comes General Dresden, Sias, Raud, the douchebag.
Yeah, Commander Raud and Commander Sias.
A bunch of soldiers, and I believe Prime Minister Orbis was there too, right?
Or was it just, no, I think it was just the general, the 2 commanders, and some grunts.
But they say that Edal is under arrest for the assassination of the king of Altago, and you're like, what?
This part, like saying that earlier, I was bored with this game up until that part, and I literally like dropped my controller, picked up my phone, and messaged you, "What the fuck?" Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, that was quite the turn.
You were like, question mark, and I was like, the story just turned. And you're like, oh, don't tell me. I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I was like, oh, don't do me.
When you got to it, you messaged me and you were like, God damn that turn. And it's like, I was bored with this game. And then they're like, you're under arrest for the assassination. I was like, what? Like,
because
it's like, all right, now I'm pissed at the Dragon Knights in this game. So now, like, I can't wait to finish the second half of this game because we've only completed about 50% of it. Like, I think it's 10 parts, and this shrine, the water shrine, was part 5.
I was gonna say, I believe it ended at the end of part 5. Now, I have some speculations, and I know you do too, that do you want to go ahead and go through those since we don't quite know yet, or
what are you speculating?
Okay, so obviously we know that we as Adol did not kill the king.
Yeah.
We watched that whole thing happen. It's not how it went down. So my speculation is that since it seemed like there was some strife between the prime minister and the king himself, that
was mentioned in the dialogue that the prime minister and the king were having some like heated discussions and shit like that.
Yeah, over politics as usual.
Yeah.
So I almost think that the prime minister might have had douchebag Raud or one of the guards kill the king, and I thought it would be Sias until seeing the part that plays out next, which is just. Until you can save again, you get to watch all these little cutscenes where Adol's being fucking tortured.
Yeah. And by the executioner who's wearing, like, no clothes. Like.
Yeah. She's got to stay limber or something. I don't know.
They mention that, like, right at the beginning of the game when you're first introduced to her. Doji's like, what's with all the spikes and the leather straps and no clothes? Like, she must be the executioner. And somebody was like... You have a keen eye. She is, in fact, the executioner. Like,
she also runs the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Which basically
the Colosseum
is Titano.
Yeah.
So basically, they hand you a really shitty sword and shield, and they're like, all right, you've been sentenced to death, and you have to fight in the Colosseum. You have to fight a Titano. So if you beat the Titano, your sentence gets stayed a bit.
Yeah.
But if you lose, you die, and then your sentence is carried forth.
Yeah.
So of course you have to fight the fucking thing, and you beat it, and unless you're terrible, because it wasn't a very hard fight at all.
No, that one was super easy.
After the last couple of them, this thing didn't have much health. It just you had no armor, so you really had to just dodge.
They gave
dive out
you
of the way.
They gave you a sword
and a shield,
and they gave you a shield,
That's
and
it.
he gave you one. He gave you one healing pote that restored 500 HP.
Sias doesn't think you actually did it, so he's like, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be wishing you good luck, but good luck, and he gives you a
Yeah.
healing potion. And I'm going to go ahead and say that Aisha doesn't think that you did it either, and she is fucking like crying when she gives you your sentence.
Yeah.
Well, she seemed kind of stern at first, and then I told her, sorry for your loss, and she just like broke down and was like, ah!
She's like, I'm sentencing you to death and you're still nice to me? How are you like that?
That's because I didn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
But that's basically, you defeat the Titano, and there's an earthquake again, and then all of a sudden this door blows open, and it's Geis and Doji, and they're like, come on, let's get the fuck out of here. And that's pretty much where we left off. Like, once you guys escape the city,
you get all of your...
saved it.
The escape, though, I think plays into the rest of the storyline, because prior to that, you don't know who of the Dragon Knights is really... If it is the Dragon Knights at all that is controlling, like, the whole assassination, framing, and all of that shit. You run into Tia, who then helps you escape. And through previous dialogues, you know that Commander Sias and Tia go back.
They're
I think
childhood friends.
Yeah, I think Sias is from Old Town.
Yes.
And grew up with Tia. So they're good people. Like, Tia helps you out, she helps you escape, and Sias walks up on her, and he's like, I saw that. But I'm not going to say that I saw that. So, I think he is a good person still.
Yeah, and that was where, in my mind, it took him out of the equation as to who could have killed the king.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
So, that leaves me with douchebag Raud and Prime Minister Oribus, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And that wraps up, Ys 7 part 1.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we said, I was starting to tank down a little bit, man, but it picked up, and now I'm like,
I thought that was going to be the end of the game, and it's like, oh, this is going to be a short game. It's a PSP game, so it's probably not going to be a lot of hours. Just the 5 shrines, cool. Short game. Boy, was I wrong. Like,
yeah,
it's
now it's just now picking up.
It's like, look, oh, you got all these powers. Now the real game begins. Like,
and real quick, one thing I want to touch on here at the end is, as usual, the music in this game is fantastic. All the Ys games have great soundtracks, in my opinion. They're all like very like guitar riff heavy and just lots of, especially in Ys 8 specifically, that one sticks out in my mind. But just even the older games, even on the 16-bit, the turbo graphics when Ys 1 and 2 were coming out, dude, even those old school sounds, man, they had rockin' soundtracks always.
Yeah, you're a musician, so you have a natural ear for that. It's background noise to me when I play. I don't really pay attention to it. Like, I just know there's a battle coming up if the music shifts. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, it's like watching a horror movie. You know, there's going to be a jump scare when the music changes. Like,
I've been considering doing a guitar cover for one of the Ys songs, maybe the Titano battle theme or something. It sounds pretty cool. It would be fun.
Maybe that's something you can do along with the social media, is learn to play a song from each game.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Do a cover of it.
I might be biting off more than I can chew for some games, but we'll see.
I don't know. Like, there's that one band that I've seen live a couple times, Bit Brigade, who literally play the soundtracks to games while a member of the band plays a speedrun of that game live.
Yeah,
like, I watched this. I watched this motherfucker beat Batman on the NES in like 12 minutes. Watch him beat Darkwing Duck in about 15 minutes, and then watch the dude complete Castlevania 1 in like 15 minutes.
That's
from start to
wild.
finish. Yeah, just fucking speedruns. Like, and while he's doing it, they play the music.
That's so rad.
They don't just do like the level track. They do the little riffs for like the start select, like the start menu, all the different cutscenes in between. They play the entire score and soundtrack to the game. It's
Most
wild.
of the bands that I know that do that are like the Black Mages, which do Final Fantasy music, and I think they're called the Megas, and they do Mega Man music.
Yeah, Bit Brigade does a couple Mega Man games.
It'd be cool. I'll have to check them out. Well, I guess then we don't need Steamy this week if we're doing part 2.
Yeah,
of Ys, unless
gets a little
you
vacation.
Yeah. I was gonna say unless we want to go ahead and run it, but I'd rather not. Let's just run it next time.
Yeah, we still got quite a bit of this game left. I'll forget what game we even hit by the time we're done with this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Well, in that case, then you can check us out on social media. You got facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or Twitter. You can find us at Steam_podcast. And feel free to come reach out to us, talk about video games. You want to ask us questions that we answer them on the show, or we'll answer them in private if you'd rather us not answer them on the show. Whatever you want, man. Just reach out to us. We are open to new viewers and hearing new opinions on the show. And as always, please don't forget to go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. That helps us tremendously raise up the iTunes chart platforms, whatever the hell, and helps us reach more people. So that would be really cool of you guys to do that. And, share us, retweet us, all that jazz. Anything else for this week for Ys 7 Part 1, man?
No, I'm ready to slaughter some Dragon Knights. That's about it. Like, arrest me. How dare you?
Well, then let's get back to it. On that note, I'm Dalton, he's Ryan, and until next time, guys, take it easy.